Hi, welcome to Skin by ILERA Apothecary, where we are going to give you the tools to build your confidence starting with your skin. My name is Chinonye, and I'm the founder of ILERA Apothecary, and I'm joined by my host, Lauren.
Hi, you guys. Thank you, Chinonye. I'm Lauren, esthetician and content creator here at ILERA and Oren Beauty. And what are we talking about today?
So this week's episode is all about showing up as your best self. So, Lauren, how do you show up as your best self?
I believe I do that just by staying true to myself, and that means being consistent with myself.
I love that. So, like being consistent, what are some of the ways that you're consistent?
Morning routines, really getting up at the time that I have set for myself, such as 5 a.m. That's a new thing for me. It's different, but it is manageable, and I'm not too afraid to do it anymore because it's become more of a routine.
Yeah.
So staying consistent with that has really helped me to better maneuver throughout the day and give my best self to others.
Awesome. So mine is very similar. Definitely that 5 a.m. routine. And I've been hitting the gym recently. And like one thing that I've learned is to like make your bed. I've been making my bed every morning, and that's something that I didn't do in the past. But like as this new year has started, that's like that one habit that I want to break and really just started getting more discipline and starting my day off with like just one single success.
Yep. And I found like making your bed, it can become a little tedious and a little boring. So finding different ways to make the bed it can keep you on your toes each morning.
Awesome.
So that's a great little tip too.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess like what does showing up as your best self even mean to you?
To me, I feel like it's just tearing down those personas that we all kind of feed into. Like, I'm supposed to be this way in front of this certain party of people, or I was supposed to follow this career path and I'm not living up to that to someone else's standard. So to me, it's basically showing up as my authentic self and the person who I was sent to earth to be. So,
Showing up as that girl.
Girl.
It's like you are that girl, that it girl that we have in our mind, and showing up as her every day.
I say Lauren 2.0 because the previous Laurens have not been cutting it for me.
Okay.
So I say I'm showing up as 2.0 Lauren, and that means sticking to my word, doing my exercises, making the bed, and consistency, because that is power. And it's really rare because not a lot of people can say that they have been consistent. I feel like only millionaires can say that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're there. And so that is where we're going next, you know? Awesome. Okay, so like part of consistency, this is a skincare blog and a skincare podcast. So what are ways that you're consistent with your skincare? Like you're an esthetician, and although I have a beauty brand, my facial skincare is not as like put together as my body skincare. So what are some tips for someone who is just getting a routine and they want to like just up their skincare game without doing like a product overload or going and just buying a bunch of products?
That's a great question. Always starting off with the basics. So cleansing the face. Like I'm always wearing makeup, not all the time, but most of the time. So making sure my skin is cleansed by the end of the night before I go to bed, because I still want to show up by taking care of my skin, because it's the only one that we have. So cleansing it and then keeping it hydrated is another step, so you're not overloading with products. So cleanser, moisturizer, and to top it off, a SPF throughout the day. So you're protecting the skin.
Yeah, and that's something that you've taught me, wearing an SPF. So that's something that I've been very, very diligent about, making sure that even when I'm working from home, I make sure I put my sunscreen on my face and my neck.
Which
and
one?
so I use two. I use Black Girl sunscreen if I'm not gonna do any makeup, and then use Supergoop, their unseen sunscreen,
You know what? I
because
want to
it's
try
like
super group.
I really like it. It's like really like it's like a nice thin sunscreen that like you can see that it covers, but I wear it like when I'm going out and I like have makeup on. That is like my dressy one, and then my Black Girl sunscreen is the one that I use every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you staying consistent with it?
I've been every single day.
Okay.
Literally, I wear sunscreen every day, even if I'm like at home and I just take a shower and wash my face. I know this is bad, but sometimes, like, if I don't feel like going through a whole regimen, I just wash my face. I'll just put that on as my moisturizer. So I don't know if I should be sharing that, but like, that's just what I do.
As long as you're protecting the skin
Yep,
too.
exactly.
There should be some hydration in the SPF that you do have.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
good one.
I think that's a great topic for like another episode, just kind of breaking down what type of sunscreens we should be using. So I definitely will put that on the board. Okay, so as we're showing up as our best selves, this is a new year. Everyone is talking about how they just feel rejuvenated, revived, and they're just ready to go to work. What are some ways that we can set goals for ourselves and make sure that we're stepping out of our comfort zone to make sure that we're achieving those goals?
Do you want to answer that one?
Sure. So like some things that I put were like, I saw this great quote a couple weeks ago where someone said, sometimes your comfort zone is not even comfortable, and just getting confident with yourself and building that internal confidence and showing up as that person. And then like setting your goals, like as you set your goals, also set ways that not just how you're going to accomplish them, but how you're also going to receive that support, and then how you're going to clear the blockage so that you can actually reach those goals. Sometimes we set goals, but then like internally we have no action steps on how to actually do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to answer that because I am just learning how to see my goals for what they are and see them in front of me. And that it shows when I got a planner to see everything in front of me, just not thinking about it or writing it on a piece of paper randomly, but actually taking the time to sit and plan it out has really helped me to see the goals that I set before myself.
Yeah, same.
So planners,
Yeah, planners
journaling,
are huge. Yeah. Yeah, even it's like we definitely don't realize like how just writing things down, but then being intentional about what we write down and then revisiting it, rereading it, and making sure that like as we pray to reach these goals, we pray for everything that comes with it at that same time. So that goes into like, positive affirmations, manifesting. Those are other ways that we can show up as ourselves.
how showing up as your best self transformed your life?
This is like an active thing, showing up as my best self. I would say like the past couple years I've had imposter syndrome where like other people tell me how great I am and other people are like, oh my gosh, you're killing it. But internally I feel like I'm drowning. But really just like I've been exercising more, even like what I eat. And I've like stopped drinking. So just like watching what I do, watching the little things that I do every day has really helped me to show up as my best self and to actually start believing in myself, because other people can see your greatness, but if you don't see it, if you're not confident, then essentially like it doesn't matter to you. And so making like those little lifestyle changes in my personal life has helped me to start showing up as the person that I am.
And that's the person that you already know you are. So you might as well just accept it because that's how it is.
That's how it is. Yeah. Even like I remember New Year's, I was writing myself a letter for like December 31st, 2023, like the end of this year. And when I tell you, I literally procrastinated and I was like, oh, I'll do it. Oh, I'll do it. And then I was like, girl, stop doing that. Just do it. And I did it. And, it was like 2 pages. So I'm very excited to go back and reread it. But like not psyching myself out has really been helping me too.
Um, I really find writing out a definite chief aim really helps me to know who I am and see those goals that I have, because it's set before you. That means it's already going to happen. So that's what a definite chief aim is.
Okay. I like that term, a definite chief aim.
Like, it's definite. There's no way around it.
Okay.
So that's Bruce Lee did that. He said he was going to be the first actor from his family, well, millionaire. He wrote it out 10 years before, and he became who he was.
Oh, wow.
You just have to affirm it. So
Yeah.
that manifestation, affirmations go a really long way.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Awesome. So we have a lot of questions here. I don't want to like skip things. So you're a content creator and you are constantly like producing content, and that really like kind of taps into your creativity. So what are some of the things that you do so that you're always generating ideas and not getting stuck?
First, for show up. Let me see how to say this. First, I take time to be with myself and really dive deep into my meditations in the morning, and really just go back to who I am as a individual, as a human being. And we're all here as creators. We're supposed to create something. So after my meditations, I do scroll through Instagram or Pinterest sometimes and really try to balance my creativity versus someone else's creativity.
Okay.
So content creation, it's nothing new. Everything is recycled in a way, but just finding your light and finding your authentic self through recreation. I believe that's what I do.
Okay.
I get my inspiration off of Instagram. It's
Okay.
beautiful. I love the curating everything about it. And I just have to find my own aesthetic through it, and that's how I make my content creation.
Awesome. That's a great way to like, to not get stuck, because you get stuck when you're trying to replicate someone else's content, but since you're doing your own, that's a great way to not be stuck.
It gets tiring too, trying to recreate someone
Great.
else.
Yeah.
And the comparison is false. It's a farce comparison. So just telling myself that I am worthy, I am a creative, and just letting it flow throughout the day. And it comes to me,
Okay.
especially through my singing, because I know that there's no one else in the world that can sing like I sing. So that's how I had to approach content creation. There's no one else that can do it like I do it. And that's where my value lies.
I love that. So you're tapping into all of your senses,
Yes.
all the parts of what makes you, what makes Lauren Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. So we also have like showing up. So like showing up as your best self transforms your life. And you mentioned meditating. So when you're meditating, like, is that like nudges from the universe? Like, what are you looking for? Because I know a lot of people, they might just be getting into meditation, and this like mindfulness might be something new to them. So I know it's different for everyone. I'll let you say yours and I'll say mine, like what I feel. But like when you're meditating, what's like coming up in your body and what's coming up in you?
What comes to mind when I'm meditating is the mind. Like, it's always active. It's like this galloping horse that is wild in like the mountains, just running, and you're trying to get control of it, but you really can't. But you can nudge it in the right directions. And I do that by going back to my breath. So, and being grateful, really grateful that I do have this breath and it's not mine. I can wake up one day and all the breath in my body can be gone.
Yeah.
So, showing up with gratitude, being kind to myself, like, okay, Lauren, you made it to meditation today. That's a big win.
It's a huge win.
Yes.
Yeah.
So showing kindness to myself and not rushing it. There's no right way to go into meditation. Everyone is going to go into it a different way. And I find that my mind is actively racing while I do it, but I'm just like, hey, just take a deep breath. This breath is here for a reason. Focus on it.
Okay, nice.
That's what I do.
Nice. So like I do like a variation. So when I do mindfulness, I like to be outside. So like just like going for a walk without any devices. And like sometimes I'll just like spot a color. I'll be like, okay, today I'm gonna like focus on red. And I'll like look at everything that's red, from like the berry on somebody's tree to like the light on someone's car, and
Like,
just
I
like
spy.
yeah, I spy. And but I do that like in a mindful way, just so that I make sure that that I'm present in the moment, because sometimes like I can like, you know, like, not be present, just going on a walk mindlessly or aimlessly, but I do that so I can be present. And then I also find that guided meditations, if I'm sitting and like being stationary, I find that guided meditations work for me. And it's weird, like I always go to a place of like a lavender field whenever I'm meditating. It's always like a purple lavender field or a purple flower field, and I find like that is like mentally, that's like my peace, that's my peaceful space. And so just always like getting to that place and like tapping into that place in my body and in my being.
And has that helped with your imposter syndrome?
It does, because like as I'm meditating, I'm like encouraging myself at the same time. Or even like if I'm listening to a guided one, I'll like specifically listen to guided ones for like confidence or for love. And it's like, you are loved, you show love. And just like subconsciously like guiding myself, teaching myself that I am who I am and I don't have to hide, because I find that like I might be hiding based on what other people might think. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people think.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
That
cares.
is the secret. No one cares.
Yeah.
So when I got that into my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a huge game changer. Because Chinonye, I would have to say that I have been the same way. Like, I'm 28 years old now, and I finally stepped into like, okay, I can just be.
Yeah.
Like, let me just be and see what comes of it. And it doesn't always resonate with other people, and that's cool. That's not for you. We're not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
So why not just be?
And enjoy that being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I feel like this is going great.
Same. Okay, so like as we're showing up as our better selves, and the topic of this podcast was showing up as your best self. So I know we talked about journaling and planning, but time management, I think that we tend to forget that time management plays a huge role in showing up as your best selves. And I also realized, like, you gave me a good advice that do your skincare at least an hour before you go to bed. And that is like, I've had to now change the way I go to sleep, because I'm like, oh, I can't wait until right before I go to bed to wash my face. I need to do it at least an hour, maybe 2 hours before I go to sleep. And so like, how does time management just play a role in us showing up as our best selves?
It plays a huge role because our lives are so busy, right? And it's what we really prioritize throughout the day. Yes, we have schedules. We may have time to fit a few little things in there, but sticking to what you had in mind. So tomorrow, Friday, I have a schedule set, but someone came in with like, hey, do you want to do this from this time and that? And I'm like, I could do it to get some extra money, but I already told myself that I have this plan and I'm sticking to it. So my time is basically measured.
Yeah.
That's how we have to look at it.
Yeah. That is so funny.
That's literally, and I've suffered with severe procrastination my entire life. It's inherited, and prayerfully I don't pass that down to my children, but procrastination has really held me back throughout my lifetime.
Yeah.
And going back to mindfulness is just, I go back to my planner. So keeping track with my time is really going to help this year.
Yeah.
So, and not allowing anything to sway that.
Yeah. You know, like this is like the soft girl year and the soft era. And I had a friend reach out to me, and like before, it's like he would want to hang out, would be like, yeah, sure, let's hang out right now. And I told him, I was like, no, like I'm really tapping into my soft girl era. If you want to hang out, I got to check my calendar. And like, you know, like I think it kind of annoyed him at first, but he realized I'm serious and is like, yeah, no, like I really gotta look into my calendar. If you want to hang out, I can give you a couple of dates and you can see if that works. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you know, it's just like being stingy with your schedule and your time.
And consistency. It's that consistency again. That's how you teach people how to approach you.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, okay, Chinonye is not going to be doing this at that time. I already know. So as long as you keep on beating that into them, they're eventually going to get it. And they're like, oh, that's just Chinonye.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, I got a schedule. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, she does. Yes.
It's like trying to grow an empire without a schedule. It's like, you can't do that, you know? So got to have discipline.
And always making time for your friends and family too.
For sure.
So everything can't always be business.
For sure.
So that balance, that's my word for the year. Balance.
Okay.
That is my word.
Nice. Okay. So I think we can end on like showing gratitude, like how we show gratitude to ourselves. And, you know, like you said, your word for the year is balance. And is that how you're showing gratitude to yourself, or like what are some of the ways that you're doing that?
Balance, it's going to take time for me because everything is constantly changing. That's inevitable. So the way that I show gratitude for myself is through skincare, and taking care of my skin, really boosted my confidence. Like looking at myself in the mirror is like, girl, you is beautiful. Yeah. If no one told you today, I'm going to tell you right now. So that's how I show gratitude. At first, I used to like conceal my beauty, and when people gave me compliments, I wouldn't really receive them. I come off as some sort of stuck-up person, but beauty is a gift. It's a gift from God, and it's through my skincare routine that I show appreciation to that. So showing gratitude through skincare.
Nice.
That's how I do it.
Okay, nice. I know, like I've been showing gratitude to myself by stepping out of my comfort zone and like trying new things. So like this past year, I did things like I've been learning how to swim, taking acting classes, hitting the gym, and just like showing up as my best self is how I've been showing gratitude. And I've been seeing those changes. Just a couple of days ago, I walked by the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you look really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Yes. And just like super excited. And, you know, it's like no one was there with me, but I just had to pump myself up because I noticed the work that I'm putting in, and I'm grateful that I made that decision to do that, because I could have never made that decision and, you know, just still been like fine. but to be thankful for like how far you've come and how far I've come, and just to show myself that appreciation. That's how I've been showing myself gratitude.
And that's how you can show it and share it with the world. Because when you know in yourself who you are, and that is beautiful, snatched, soft princess, whatever you want to be,
Yep.
it's attractive and people see that. And if someone says anything opposite to that, you know they're lying. You already know.
You know they're lying. It's like, I think you're talking about yourself, but carry on.
I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray for you. I say, God bless it. That's what I say.
I
So
was like, hey,
God
man,
bless
that's
it.
on you.
that's on
All right.
you.
So do you have any last words for our guests today?
I would say this year, just be who you are truly, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. And I would say be true to you. Show up as your best self and do not let other people's perceptions get in the way of that. And with that, this ends our first episode of Skin by ILERA. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.